First I saw Robots, which follows Rodney, who moves to a new city to pursue his dreams of becoming an inventor, while accidentally starting an uprising in the process, and causing a war between the upper and lower classes, or something.
Alright! Break time! Alright, break time's over! Chop chop!
Robots is an overall really fun film to rewatch all these years later. I like how dark it got at times, I like how surprisingly engaging the action scenes were. Overall, just really fun. Next I saw 2005 King Kong film, which follows... well, you know the plot. Big fucking monkey gets taken from island, then climbs building and dies, and in alternative timeline, fights a big lizard or something. You've heard the story a million times, so how is this adaptation? Not great, unfortunately. I think the film's biggest problem is undoubtedly the runtime. The film goes for 3 hours and doesn't justify this long runtime at all. Look, I have nothing against long films. Kubrick is my favorite director after all, and a lot of his films have rather slow pacing and long runtimes, but they are always interesting from start to finish and warrant being as long as they are. Same can't be said about King Kong. The second act of the film takes place on Skull Island, the location that the human characters find Kong, and so much time is wasted in this section of the film. It's nothing but action scene after action scene, and it goes on for so long that you can't help but zone out after a while. I can only get so invested in watching people shoot awful CGI monsters over and over and over again for an hour straight. There's a decent 2-hour film in here somewhere, for sure, but as it stands now, it's just very bloated experience.
And beauty stayed his hand, and from that day forward, he was as one dead.
I saw the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs duology. They were alright, I guess. First film gets a lot of praise, and I guess I can see why. It's an interesting concept with nice cartoonish animation and message. However, I wasn't a fan of the characters. They ranged from being fine to annoying, with the only exception being Flint's dad. He is, and always will be, an epic bald guy. That's really all I have to say about the first. Let's talk about the sequel. A film that basically everyone agrees is terrible. I actually enjoyed this film far more than the first. Granted, it's a cliche, predictable story that lacks any sort of subtlety, and the humor consists entirely of fart jokes and bad puns, but for whatever reason, I had a blast watching it. I mean, the father gets a whole subplot where he goes fishing with sentient pickles. I mean, what more could you ask for from a film? If I'm going to be completely honest, the only reason I watched these films was to see more of the father character, and that's exactly what I got. So the way I see it, this was time well spent. Terry Crews is great too, I can't forget Terry Crews.
But we're not done yet.